Welcome back, fans, or just listeners. You don't have to be a fan. But if you hear my voice right now, we love you. Unqualified Sports Talk episode 20. It is the week of the beginning of July, and we are coming off of what seems to be a different a difference in the schedule. We uploaded an interview that was standalone, and we believe that's how we're going to do things now when we have interviews, just so it doesn't affect our episodes anymore. And if you want to come listen to us talk, that's how we'll do it. But we interviewed Ryan Kosey, and well, quite frankly, he was awesome, and then some.
He was.
Big UST news this week: scheduling conflict. Bryce isn't here. Me and Austin special. It's okay. There goes 90% of our fun. But hey,
I
we'll
know.
get through it.
Our memes, they're just gone.
Yep. They're gone. He'll be back next week. But we're still going to have fun with it, and we're still going to get our content out there for you listening to my voice right now. So, Austin, it's me and you, buddy.
I know. We
What do we
have
got?
we
What
have
do we have to
unreigned
give?
control.
What do we have to give without Bryce? We're just
I
so lost.
well, we can talk about the MLB this week, so stay tuned for that.
Well, we can anyway, but Bryce has to
Well,
take a
yeah,
nap.
we can, but we have to go wake Bryce up once we're done, or blow
Oh,
down his
yeah,
paper or his house of cards. So,
yeah.
but
That's a show.
the NFL, that is a show, but the NFL, which has sort of a show, Hard Knocks, has nothing to do with this, but I love it.
Could not be any less to do with it. Anything,
I don't even
you
think the
know?
show is like produced by the NFL, but whatever. The NFL was absent last week, AFK, if you will. It's back this
Mm.
week. Some interesting news coming out today, actually, which is the first day of July. The Washington football team, already a super controversy filled franchise with naming, and then obviously a lot of stuff coming up with players being mistreated and stuff like that. They've obviously been going through a lot with this sexual misconduct investigation, and it finally comes to a head today. And we're not going to cover the business side of it so much as the football side of it, which is no draft picks taken away. And it was a $10 million fine, which obviously hurts the organization a lot. But on a day-to-day basis, I mean, you lose you lose nothing, excuse me, in terms of draft picks, right? So Carson, I mean, what do you think, like, I guess the sense is in that organization? Do you feel like they are pretty okay with what they had to
Oh, I
give up
mean,
for this?
they definitely feel like they got off well. I mean, we all know Dan Snyder is an absolute stooge, but I don't know. I mean, it definitely sends a heck of a lot more of a message when you take away draft picks than it does when you find people.
Yeah,
But what was the exact number of the fine again?
10 million is what was
Yeah,
reported.
which is I believe I can say this without looking it up or without ever thinking about it. That's got to be the largest fine ever given out. Correct?
Probably, unless there
I
was some sort of like,
honestly I can confidently say that.
yeah. The only way that it
Unless there was
isn't is if you have a fine that has like multiple like incurrences or whatever, like where it happens multiple times, kind of thing. Um,
Oh yeah,
but I think single fines. This has got to be the biggest in sports so far.
yeah, but I
But
don't know. I mean, I think it's a little bit of a scared move, not just absolutely crippling them and crippling Snyder out of the organization, but it's fine. Like, we know that he's awful, and that's why him and his, I believe it's his wife, um, are now controlling the franchise 50-50, I believe. And that was before this news, so there's no telling what sort of implications this will have for Dan the Stooge Snyder. But hopefully that only means great things for the franchise,
yeah,
because
because
well, they need good news.
yeah, I mean, we aren't specifically WFT fans here, but I respect the franchise. I think they have had a pretty bad string of luck in terms of draft picks not really panning out, and obviously they haven't sought after the best front office people. But
And as well as just being in all of this controversy with the name, and then
yeah,
you know, pretty much the what's the word? The snowball effect of this misconduct, as well as just the general unhappiness with pretty much everyone in the organization. But hey, they're still playing football.
true.
That's what they are, the football team.
And they still have a great defense. They still
Yeah.
have a defense that,
Well,
with an offense,
well,
could probably be a playoff team. So
I mean, according to a guy I read an Instagram comment from, their defense is the most overrated in the league. So,
there's no
but he was
shot.
he was he was probably qualified. Probably
There is
he had to
no.
be
I'm
qualified.
gonna use the Bryce line. There is no shot.
No shot.
They
But
have some studs on defense. Chase Young, hello.
and that's it. And
Well,
that's
I
it.
mean, but obviously he has overshadowed a lot of players that are older than him that have been doing it for a lot longer. But they're still great players, and they have a good mix. It's just if they could ever figure out the offense, ever. But
Yeah. Which is fine, but we're not. This isn't necessarily a football report.
no,
It is what it is. We hope all of the news about this misconduct comes to light, and we hope that the proper repercussions are given. Um, that may or may not include forcing the stooge Snyder out of the front office,
yeah,
uh, and basically just into the owner's booth to sit there and show his mouth, if that's
exactly,
what's necessary, and if that's what they deem appropriate.
yeah,
But
and it's
that's just news at this point.
yeah, it's interesting to me because I think this sets a good precedent for the NFL. Um, that non-football related issues, like obviously this wasn't an on the field issue, right? This wasn't, cheating or misconduct in the way that they handled players, as far as I can tell from, the reports and stuff that
Yeah,
I've seen. Then I think the punishment in this situation, for the first time in a while in the NFL, fits the crime. That this was a front office issue, this was a workplace environment issue for front office staff. Therefore, that's where the punishment was placed, and they didn't
yep.
take away
They're
draft
taking the
picks.
money right out of the office.
Yeah, they didn't take away draft picks. They didn't hurt the people on the field that, at least as far as I can tell, had no bearing on what happened. They're not punishing the players, especially for taking away talent that could have been there. So I think this sets a good precedent that
Yeah,
if it's an on the field issue, then draft picks can be brought in as punishment, and if it's not, hand over the cash.
yeah.
So
Which, I mean, if the cash comes straight from the owner, then that's a pretty good setup there. But if the cash ends up affecting cap space or player pay, then that's a whole other conversation.
right,
But all we really need to know is that we're only 6 weeks out.
yes, and really we're 4 weeks out from the first game of the preseason, like we were talking about, but 6 weeks out from seeing a little bit of NFL football, seeing
Yeah, and
a
then only
quarter.
3 more grueling weeks until we get actual football.
Yeah, instead of four like before. Whew.
Yeah, and
But
then we get 18 weeks of it. I mean, come on.
yeah, and then
I didn't even
21
just an
weeks of
extra game.
playoffs. It always
21 weeks
feels like it.
of the playoffs?
Yeah, 21 weeks of the playoffs,
Yeah,
because the
honestly,
NFL
every day feels
playoffs
like a
feel
week
so
during
long.
playoff time.
Like, especially if they start taking a week between the end of the season and the wild card, which I
Yeah.
saw was like a point of discussion. Maybe not for this year, but for future years. Taking a week off between the final week of the season and the wild card, and then obviously you have the break in the middle with the Pro Bowl, which
Yeah.
all right, putting it out there, Pro Bowl after the season is over, please. or in the middle of the season,
Just
please.
axe it. Just axe it.
Yeah, I literally couldn't care
Don't
less
even
about the Pro
try to
Bowl.
do it. Just take a
Just
couple
announce
years
all
off.
stars.
Just take a couple years off and have a bright return to it in like 2025.
Well, and that's the
It
thing.
needs to be rested, put
Yeah.
to rest for a little while.
That's the thing about the Pro Bowl too, especially with its new thing. It's like in the NBA, right? Your time as an all-star, like the 9-time all-star, right? That matters. Like that is something that is considered whenever you're talking about personal accolades, Hall of Fame, stuff like that, right? It matters. In the
Bragging
NFL
rights.
though, it doesn't. Like it just doesn't. Because how many players choose to sit out now because they're playing in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Well,
So,
I mean, no one's ever gonna care about the most outstanding player of the Pro Bowl ever.
exactly.
And they cared enough about the All Star Game MVP to actually name it. So
Yeah. I like
there you go.
watching the 2002 quarterback skills challenge more than I like watching the current Pro Bowl. So,
Yeah, and if the best they can do is the drone drop and the kick tack toe, come on, get out of here. Like, what I want to see for a skills challenge is I want to see linemen doing the 40, and I want to see Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball as far as they can. That's all I care about.
yeah.
I want to see bigger, better, faster, stronger, better, faster, stronger,
Amen.
and then I want to see a good game in which the players actually care.
Exactly.
I think all teams should surrender a little bit of their salary cap. And this might sound ridiculous, but like 2 to 3 million a team, and the winning team should split like $100 million just between all the players.
I like that.
Because
Incentivize
the
it like
Pro
the
Bowl
NBA. I mean,
could bring in a lot of money because it's a whole event,
and it's in
and it's
Hawaii
definitely broadcast, and it's a whole weekend. Well,
where it
should be in
was,
Hawaii.
yeah, in its prime.
There's a lot going on with the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl.
And normalize AFC NFC.
Yes, please.
No
Please.
captains. It works in the
No Michael
NBA.
Irvin and whoever.
Yeah, it works in the NBA because the West is so much better than the East. It works that way. But the NFC and the AFC, they are neck and neck
And they will always be.
because
Just the
there's
way
teams
football
on the
is.
West Coast in the NFC and the AFC, and there's teams in good football states in both conferences. Basketball, not so
Yep.
much, but
Yep. Basketball, if you want to go to California, you literally have to play in the West.
yep. And if you
And
want to play in
that's
the West, you can
a
also just
contributing
go
factor.
to Memphis, but
Yeah. Exactly.
which makes no sense. But I think that's a good amount of talk about the NFL, Carson. Obviously, we're still
Yeah.
a
Pro
few
Bowl
weeks
talk.
away.
Pro Bowl is in
Yeah,
January of next year.
that's kind of hitting the low end of, man, we really want the NFL to be back already. That shows how desperate we are because
Honestly.
I think I speak for you, me, and Bryce whenever I say that between the three of us, that's the one that we love the most. Like if you add up all of our love for sports, I think that's our number one passion whenever you add all
Yeah.
three of us together. But it'll be back. It'll be better than ever, hopefully. I think so. And I'm excited. I'm
Longest
excited to see
season
what
ever.
rookies do. I think we have some real promise. I really want to see Kyle Pitts play like badly.
Honestly.
I want to see what Jamar Chase does. And it'll be cool to see Trevor Lawrence play. So,
He's gonna be so good.
and for Urban Meyer to have a clipboard in one hand and ibuprofen in the other.
Tim Tebow.
And Tim Tebow's back. Oh, man, it's going to be a great
Yes.
NFL season.
He hasn't played in like 8 years. We love it.
It's going to be a great NFL
But
season.
enough.
But enough.
NFL.
To the other sport
Sports.
that starts with an N. I'm trying to
It
think if
ends
there
with
are
an
any other ones.
association.
And it
The
has basketball in the middle.
National Lacrosse League. And
Dang
it has
it.
basketball in them.
The NBA. Obviously, playoffs not winding down yet. For some people, I guess, still ramping up, especially if your team's still in it. But now there's one less team in it.
It's definitely winding down if you're in the state of California
That's true.
because it's over.
Their their $1 trillion teams are getting eliminated.
It's tough.
And Arizona's looking pretty right now, thinking, California, nice. We got the Cardinals and we
Nice.
got the Suns, baby. We won't talk about the
And they've got
Diamondbacks.
rocks and dirt.
I know some people that live in Phoenix, though. Let me know.
And they have rocks
And dirt.
and dirt.
But they also have a team going to the NBA Finals. Phoenix
Suns and
Suns,
six.
congratulations.
Hey,
Congratulations,
congratulations.
Suns and 6. I wanted Suns and 4, but, we got Suns and 6.
And at some point they definitely deserve some credit. Hey, congratulations, Chris Paul. I mean, what else can be said? After beating the Lakers without Anthony Davis and LeBron at 80%, and every other player on the team playing the worst ever. Playing the Nuggets without Jamal Murray and then the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. Hopefully you can make it to the finals, and the Bucks will be without Giannis.
I mean, or the Hawks will be without Trae Young. Obviously,
Yeah,
just adding in that.
But people will try to negate the bubble championship.
Yeah.
Talk
Well,
about an easy path.
yeah, they have definitely. If they had failed in this run, they would have been under so much scrutiny because literally everything was laid brick for brick for them, like perfectly. But I mean, success is about capitalizing on opportunity, right?
Amen. And well, I mean, hey, the Suns definitely capitalize on their opportunities, and they're going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, I could really care less about most of the players on the Suns, but obviously it's nice to see CP3 getting to the
Yeah, I
finals.
mean, it's cute.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's cool to see him go there against his former team, which I hadn't thought about. Like he beat his former team to get there. I hadn't thought about in ever. So that's cool, I guess.
It's almost poetic, honestly.
Yeah, true. Except there's like no one from that team there anymore. Probably zero
But
players.
it's almost.
Yeah, it is almost poetic. But I have two new heel players, mostly just one new heel player that I've put in our notes here. So now I'm starting the hashtag I hate Pat Beverly. I'm on the train. Um, I know he apologized today, but man, that's like that's like 12-year-old stuff.
I mean, that's just Patrick Beverly. That's how he's been for the longest time, and that's why everybody hates him.
I understand. I understand now, and I've seen it with my eyes, and I was like, why? Like, if he was my kid, I don't know how old Patrick Beverly is. What, he's probably like near 30, right?
He's got to be over.
I'd take him. I'd sit him down at the dinner table and say, Pat, why did you do that? And then just give him a good spanking. Because I don't care. He's 30 years old, 35 years old, whatever. That's kindergarten. That's church league basketball stuff, like pushing people in the back.
That's a little weird, Austin.
Nah, I mean, I'm sure Pat
Austin
Beverly's
wants to
dad.
spank Pat Beverly.
If I was his dad, only then. Right now, I don't want to lay a hand on him because he shoved him pretty hard. I can only imagine what he'd do if he was really angry.
Patrick Beverly is very feisty.
Yeah, he is a lockdown defender, and I imagine he could demolish me. So even though we're probably like the same height, but that's
Yeah,
not
you
true. That's not true. But him and Boogie both just getting really emotional last night, and I don't understand. Like Boogie, you just want someone else to win a title for you. Like it's not like you're doing
Yes.
anything.
Yes, it's very clearly what he's been trying to do for the entire time.
It's like I don't feel like you have any right. It's not like you're doing anything to help. You had
His
one good
last good
game.
chance was in New Orleans.
Yeah, and I loved him whenever he was the boogie of
Actually
old playing.
good, yeah,
Yeah,
which
playing like playing. Um, Sacramento Boogie, obviously, I mean, he's always been a feisty player. He's always not been afraid to throw some hands if need be, but I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't like that. But I understand, I guess, the frustration. So,
and hey, there's no more West basketball to be. So I mean, it's only
yeah.
fair to the East.
Yeah. So now we get, if it's, now we get the JV NBA, right? Like, the West is
So,
definitely varsity, and the East has been kind of JV.
well, I mean, everyone in the NBA has been hurt now, so it's like everybody's
Yeah.
been JV.
That's true. They're calling
Well,
up players.
except for well, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Who? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
except for the Suns' best player, Devin,
Oh, that's yeah, except for his face
because
whenever it
because he
literally
just
got
because he just
dominated.
got he literally had the one thing happen that wouldn't affect him at all. He just
Yeah.
put on a mask, talked to Rip Hamilton, and he's fine. But hey,
Yeah.
we all know DeAndre Ayton's carrying the Suns, and if DeAndre Ayton doesn't win, yeah.
Yeah. If they win the
But
finals, give DeAndre Ayton a title shot in the OC against Ngannou.
all right, all right, all right. On to the East.
Well,
They're
the series
playing
is 2-2. So,
basketball.
yeah,
They're
they're
playing basketball, playing Game 5, and they're playing it tonight.
and they're playing it
So
without the two biggest names in the series, both already
yeah,
ruled
I
out for
mean
tonight.
they're both out at least tonight. Hopefully they're back for Game 6. But now we'll get to see pretty much whether or not Chris Middleton is worth anyone's time.
Yeah.
I
And we'll
noticed
see
that
how good the
I
other
saw
guys are.
an article on ESPN that said, the Bucks have a dimension that the Hawks don't, and it was talking about how Chris Middleton went off, and then the next game he was like 0 for 8 from three, and they lost. So, yeah,
Yeah.
looks like Chris Middleton proved everyone right, pretty much,
And then
except for the
wrong
people
and
from
then right.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
proving me right a lot. He's kind of a good, not great, and I will stick with that until he actually proves me wrong. But hey, tonight is his chance, and I hope he does because hey, you know what happens when I don't well, let's just say give people their respect. They go off and so,
Yeah. I mean, the Bucks series hopes if Giannis and Trey Young stay out, right? Kind of rest on Chris Middleton cuz
yeah. Well, I mean,
who's going to
you
I mean,
definitely
who's going to carry
you
that team?
definitely have what I would hope is confidence that you have the best player on the court,
Yeah. Which they should. I think that he
which
is the best
they've had the
individual
luxury
player.
of saying the entire time.
Yeah, true. No argument there.
But
But
I don't
I
know.
think the Hawks have a lot of those like supplemental pieces that could easily put up 15 to 20 and make it a true team effort. And then the Bucks have less of that. So if Chris Middleton doesn't at least play like a star player, they're in trouble. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the Hawks could put up 140 tonight, 28 points.
yeah,
Or they could only put up 86 and, lose by 30.
yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's what you get when stars get hurt because you don't know what you get.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm excited
it
though.
just ruins flow entirely, and it goes back to, I guess the word is instinctual basketball as well as coaching matters for a little bit.
Yeah. This
You
is
have to
where the coaches
relearn how
really
to
do
play as a
matter.
team. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean usually it's about surviving while your star is off the court getting rest.
But
But
now
tonight it's
you
about
have to win.
surviving 48 minutes on both sides for what is, without a doubt, the most important game of the season for either of these teams yet. And Game 5 is always as pivotal as it gets.
Yeah. So I think and I know I'm jumping a little bit here, but it seems to fit well. If the excuse me, no matter what, Game 6 is going Atlanta as long as Trae Young and Giannis remain out. So that means that if tonight the Hawks win, then it could be over in 6.
Well,
So that makes this game, to me at least, so pivotal for the Bucks, right? Because if you lose this, it's like every game 5 in the new NBA playoff format. Or if you lose game 5 as the home team or as the higher seed, you are in a really bad spot for game 6. Like, really bad spot for game 6. Because you have to go to their stadium and play, or their arena and play. And at this point in the playoffs, how much is left in the tank, honestly.
especially without Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, you have guys that haven't carried the load the entire season, and now you're asking them to carry the load potentially 3 games in a row. I don't know. I don't
But
know.
the best part of it for the Bucks is, hey, at least it's not a great team on the other side. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's
Hawks
not it's
obviously have
not
proved everybody
Brooklyn.
wrong, but yeah, at least you're not playing Brooklyn. At least you're not playing Philly. At least you're not playing Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, even though obviously they've proved everybody wrong and playing themselves out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
But
but Al
still,
Horford.
at least there's not superstars over there, because, well,
Yeah.
Trey Young. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is
Listen,
where
listen. Trey
superstars are
Trey
made.
Young Trey Young has earned his respect,
He
and he's gonna
is.
come back, and the Harry Lollipop's gonna maybe take a game, but I don't think they can beat the Bucks unless Giannis is out for the rest of the series.
I agree
Um,
with that.
and then again, you're gonna have to buckle down and play 40 plus minutes if you're Trey Young while hurt and give 100% on both ends of the floor to earn my respect and even an ounce of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this series is probably going 7, and it could be a super excited game 7. So we'll see.
Yeah, especially if both of them come back and play game 6 and are moderately fine by game 7.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll probably see
But
a lot of bad basketball, but maybe we'll see another Clint Capella horse shot. I promise our middle school gym teacher that was his go-to shot whenever we played horse. You probably know exactly who I'm talking about.
yeah, but we move on from stuff like that. We don't get too deep into it.
Well, I mean, obviously,
But
but
Clint Capella's making horse shots out there.
yeah, I mean, it was
A,
awesome.
a middle school gym teacher.
Yeah.
And hey,
The point being, it was
why
awesome.
don't they just why don't they just play horse? Who needs
Honestly,
a game?
we're
But
not gonna
a
see
game
good
is
basketball.
happening.
So
A game is happening, and hint, hint, I'm not picking this game in Hook'em because it's about to start. So who you got tonight?
I think the Bucks will win. I think Middleton will actually have a good game.
That's fair, and I want to say that, so I'm going to.
I don't think it'll
So
be like a 40, but I think it might be a good 25 with good percentages.
hey, we'll take it. They just need an efficient game and him to be a leader, and there you go.
Yeah, I can't wait to start watching the game and him to miss 9 threes in a row, but we'll see.
He will. Hook'em Middleton. On
Yeah.
to the next one. The NCAA
Yeah.
finally,
Finally.
finally, it went into
Freeing.
effect as of, I believe, today, June 1st. The buildup has been unreal, but
Today's July 1st.
players are now allowed to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. Uh, and well, honestly, it's been a long time coming. It's
Yeah.
been talked about for, oh goodness, I mean, years is kind of an understatement. It's been seriously talked about for, now 5 or 6 years. Uh, and we just hope this means good college sports video games come back.
Please.
uh, especially with the announcement that NCAA college football is coming out in a couple years. But that's all I really care about.
Yeah. I mean, that and
If
basketball,
college
right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if college athletes can profit off of their own name or whatever, I hope it suits them all well. This is kind of their way of paying. Well, I'm using hard air quotes, paying them and scaling it based off of popularity, but not actually doing anything. So this is the most NCAA thing of all time: giving
oh yeah,
people
100%.
an ounce of what they want and not actually doing what they should do.
Yeah.
So, hey, congratulations to all college athletes. I'm now announcing the death of the interview on our channel because, well, now college athletes are probably going to ask to be paid. So, congratulations to them. We wish them well, and we hope it all goes well. But honestly, it's the end of an era. It's the end of amateurism, whatever the word was. Uh, and, we're probably on to brighter days because being a college athlete is like a 80-hour a week job. And hey, good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super overdue, right? Like, people like Zion deserved to be making money off of all the revenue
Well,
they were
well,
bringing in.
he probably.
Okay, sorry. People like Zion deserve to be legally and not under the table making money off of their
Yeah, I mean,
name, image, and likeness.
Shaq definitely made more in college than he did with the Lakers.
I mean, fact stat guy can check that. He can be fact guy for now, but uh, I don't know about that one, but maybe, I'm
Hey,
super
things
excited.
that aren't true are my specialty, but
That's
true.
it's true, but they could
I
be.
think it'll
It
be.
could be.
I think it'll be a nice change, but honestly, like, there's no way for it to scale like reasonably with any sort of uh discipline. What is you know, a field hockey athlete gonna bring in
Yeah,
with this new rule passing? And
little
that
to
honestly,
nothing.
that disappoints me the most because players that play the huge sports that bring in all the money are gonna be able to make all the money. And these people that put in just as many hours to be, relatively just as good at their sport, though the sport may not be a moneymaker, they're not gonna be rewarded as much. And that sucks because,
Yeah,
well, especially for college athletes, if you're selling your soul to a school to go play a sport, like you're sacrificing in a lot of different areas. And you could be coming out of college like at a disadvantage because you've been there so long. Even though, of course, free education and that's you can't say that enough. But that affects every facet of your life
oh yeah.
being a college athlete.
I mean, they
And
have
I
to
mean,
balance that
we
and
look
school. Like, it's tough.
yeah, we definitely look forward to hopefully having somebody on soon to talk about this. Maybe we can hit up our buddy Cliff to see if he wants to come on and give us his thoughts on it. But
Oh yeah,
honestly, I don't know. I think there's a lot of criticism to be had about how this has been handled, mainly because it's been too long. Like this should have been into effect. You know, it may be forever, but at least a few years ago. But that's just how organizations work, and that's how corporate things happen. They take forever.
yeah.
Um, but
I mean,
other than reporting the news, giving our slight opinions, that's literally all we can do, and we just have to see how it plays out.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna stay on the wagon of give give the Heisman's back, and please start selling number 2 Johnny Manziel jerseys from A&M.
Well, I mean, Johnny Manziel was always selling his jersey, right? I mean, he said on Barstool multiple times that he got paid a lot of money to sign autographs.
Oh yeah, I mean, just please make those. I want to see those two things. Well, one, I want to see one of them happen, and two, I want to see the other one advertised, like 59.99 on ncaa.com/shop Texas A&M. Like,
Yeah,
please,
yeah, of course. Oh yeah, that's a way
please.
for schools to make that much more money selling jerseys. But
Yeah,
but another note, does this mean that the Michigan championship runs get put back. Does this
Please.
mean? Does this mean that? Wait, what happened with Jim Boeheim when he got those wins removed? Was that misconduct or was
I th-
that paying?
I think that was
Okay, we're not talking about that.
Stats guy
But
would have to check
but
that.
but we're not talking about the Derrick Rose SAT thing. We're talking about Chris Webber getting paid undisclosed amounts, but we know it was over $100,000
Yep. And hey, I
to play
can't
at Michigan.
say anything
Let
about
him.
DSJ and NC State anymore. So
No, you can't. Or
literally
DeAndre
can't.
Ayton getting paid like
Okay,
$15,000
but
after
that
what
was
he did
so
for Philly.
funny. That was so funny.
Um,
Where's the money,
but
Aiden?
maybe now Chris Webber can talk about what happened because I need to know.
Please.
I need to hear everything from him
I can't wait
because
for
I
the
don't know if
30 for 30 on this.
the 30 for 30 about the Fab Five didn't have Chris Webber because obviously he didn't want to comment on all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe now he'll come out. Chris Webber, if you would like to come onto our podcast and talk about it, we would gladly have you. Maybe our buddy Jay Billis that me and Bryce have met once can talk you into coming on. But you know,
We'll see.
big things coming. Big things
Huge.
coming for the NCAA.
And can't wait to have NCAA football and basketball back in action. See what this new rule change or policy change does for the quality of the sport. So
Yeah, and see if it will either humble everyone further or if it'll just make everyone more stuck up.
yeah, can
But
Clemson out
yeah,
budget Bama? That's the question.
all we can do is wait. All we can do is see how it plays out, and I look forward to it. But that's
Yep.
enough with NCAA.
Yeah.
It's kind of school is not in session right now.
Yeah. But the MLB is in session.
Oh, the MLB is in the middle of it. The
And
absolute middle of their session.
the MLB, unlike the NFL, has an exciting All-Star game, or All-Star weekend, I should say. Mostly because of the Home Run Derby, which I know both me and Carson will have our eyes
We
glued
we can
to.
talk about the home run derby next week.
Yes. We'll have our eyes glued. We're excited, but the regular season still underway. No pause in the action yet. And hey, we've got some exciting divisional races going on in the middle of the season, which is kind of unusual for the MLB. Typically, by this point, your top two teams are kind of settled in, and your bottom two teams are very settled down. And then you have the middle
Yeah.
team that's just there. But not so much this year, or at least in the two divisions that we're going to talk about. So who you got, Carson? Which division are you taking?
Well, the division race that is the most exciting can be debated upon, but I believe it's the National West because, well, they have three teams that, as of tonight, could have 50 wins already, and there are no other teams in the National League that have 50 wins. So the top three teams in the National League are all in the same division. The Giants, Dodgers, and Padres, two of which we can say are actually like supposed to be here, supposed to be good, and are World Series candidates. And then there's the Giants. Obviously, they've been surprising. They've been getting, out of this world seasons from Kevin Gosman and Johnny Cueto and pretty much everybody. But the Giants have just been a really good team, which we definitely couldn't have said the past couple years at
Oh
at
yeah,
multiple different points in the season. But I mean, hey, good for them. And then obviously the Dodgers have been overcoming injuries, but they have talent literally spewing out of the organization, so they're going to be there. And the Padres have been and will be the most exciting team in the league, until further notice. And they're playing like it.
yeah. It's it is a tight race out there, and exciting. That's good baseball. Like
Very exciting. So,
it's fun.
hey, Diamondbacks, how about you make up those 28 games and get back in the
Please,
mix? Maybe
please.
it's 30 now, but still.
And can the Rockies please just trade for like Gallo and another home run hitter and just start scoring 15 a game?
Well, I mean, the Rockies will forever be stuck in the middle. They're never going to be good. They're never going to be bad because no one actually wants to play in cores. They just
Yeah,
kind of get screwed into it.
yeah, which is unfortunate because it is a cool ballpark, and I love Charlie Blackman, so it's tough.
I mean, he is one of the coolest players in the league. He drives a truck and has a beard. Like, come on.
I know
That's all there is to it.
it's
That's all there is
literally
to
that
it.
cool. Yeah.
But give me your division.
So I'm taking the AL East. It's nice that we picked one from the NL, one from the AL.
Oh,
But
one from the East, one from the West.
oh, that's true. Oh, the duality of man.
Oh,
Um,
and that's just 3 teams in California. I didn't even realize.
well, none of my teams are in California. They're not even. There's not even two of them that are in the same state. So the AL East, we've got the Red Sox, the Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees all within 9 games of each other now. Then the Orioles are at the bottom. They're 23 or 24 games out of the lead, and they have a no hitter this year. Fun fact. Nice, but that doesn't
Nice.
matter because the Red Sox are 20 games above 500, winners of 7 in a row as of today, and if they continue to play well, which I think they will, I think they can fend off the Yankees and the Rays and maybe take the game or take the division by 2 or 3 games by the end of the season. But I'm excited. Like the Blue Jays at any point could make a trade or well, yeah, make a trade for a good player and become favorites in that division. Obviously, a good Yankees team with all the talent that is there is very scary for not just the AL East but for the league. The Rays are suffering with a little bit of injury issues right now, so if they get some of those players back, they're even scarier. And when are the Blue Jays going to be back in Toronto? When are they going back to the Rogers Center? Please tell me. Please.
Please.
Because I just want to see Vladdy cranking homers. But obviously, I have a little bit of bias here because the Red Sox and Chris Sale might be coming back this season. And I say might be because he announced either yesterday or today that he was open to doing a rehab start in one of
Mm-hmm.
their offsite places or whatever. So, I mean, if he feels confident enough to throw in a real game situation, from a official mound, I mean, I mean, you know,
Yeah. But I
we
mean,
could see
he's
Chris Sale
also
play.
he hasn't pitched in years and it
Yeah,
looks like he's lost 40 pounds.
it
And
really it's exciting, but it also depends on what Chris Sale you get. Right? Do you get Cy Young
he need
candidate Chris Sale? Like,
he needs he needs time. So whenever he's ready, he'll be ready. And I mean, he'll be a good boost for the Red Sox.
100%.
And if they're actually in the race in, a month or so, if that's when he's ready, then hey, you can afford to take a chance on your ace.
Well, and even if they, if he has this start, right, this rehab start, and they don't really like what they see, but obviously other teams are going to be watching it too. Like, they're going to be tracking it, right? Say another team likes what they see, and they think, we're not really contenders this year, but we think with the rest of this season and off season, this guy could maybe enter our starting lineup. What's to say the Red Sox don't trade him for something that could help them win right now? Obviously, they're not
Yeah,
going to get like a
which
super
is
impactful piece, but
which is the ultimate question is, whether to stick to your guns 10,
yeah.
sell and look towards the future.
But
Which is honestly, we're coming up on the point in the season when teams are going to have to make realizations like that.
yeah, the deadline is what, the end of this month?
I believe so. I believe it's July 31st trade deadline every year.
So we could see teams like the Yankees obviously make some moves because they definitely have the capital to do so. Um,
See,
this is not.
The Rays could definitely move some pancakes around and see what's going on. I mean, the
That's
Rays have,
true.
have have the top farm system in the league. Obviously, they don't spend any money on anybody, and if the Rays go out and get, you know, insert player here, Trevor Story, are you gonna complain if you're Tampa? No,
No, not at
they
all.
definitely can. There's
Especially
no doubt that they can.
especially with how, I mean, no one is watching this team, I feel like right now. Like they're second in the East and it feels like they're fourth with the amount of coverage that they're getting, right? And we saw what
I
they did
mean,
last year with an underdog status. Like,
when you're one Blake Snell getting pulled too early from winning the World Series, like it's
yeah.
it's tough to come back, play 162, and play deep into the playoffs again. Of course, we wish them the best, but it'll be interesting to see if they make any moves to help them do that. And it'll be even more interesting to see who's on their team, in a month.
Yeah.
Because I think they should go broke.
Yeah, I want to see how this race plays out as much as the next guy, but obviously we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait and see. I
Yeah,
think,
we got about 3 months until these actually
yeah,
come into fruition, but they're exciting right now. So what more
yeah,
do we want?
exactly, exactly. And please, Cubs, do not trade Rizzo or Chris Bryant to the Yankees. Thank you.
Cannot wait for Rizzo and Chris Bryant to be buddy cops on a TV show in 10 years.
Oh, I know.
That is going to
Chicago
be
5-0,
absolutely awesome. No, it's going to be the I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be cool.
the Chris and Tony
But hey,
show.
at least Bryce isn't here, so we can talk a little bit about baseball
True,
because I love
but
it.
I think it's about time to transition to Bryce's
It is time to
favorite topic.
transition, and just like Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant are going to be beating up criminals, there was some beating up this past weekend. Not a huge event. We've got UFC 264 coming up, which is a really big card without any title fights, but big heavyweight fight last weekend. Cyril Gane beating Alexander Volkov, and Cyril Gane doesn't finish his fights, so he didn't finish this one. But Austin, like genuinely, there's a lot of uncertainties in the heavyweight division right now,
Oh,
especially
100%.
with John Jones moving up, and especially with John Jones and Ngannou seemingly willing to wait as long as it takes for them to be able to fight each other. We might have an interim title fight between two guys not named them. There, who's Cyril Gane going to fight next? That's the only question I have.
Well, in a perfect world, so Gon is the third ranked heavyweight right now,
Mm-hmm.
and he just beat Volkov, who was the fifth or sixth. I can't remember who was higher, him or Rosenstrike. But in a perfect world, I would love to see Stipe not be done, right, and maybe Stipe and Gon get in there, or Gon and
Stipe has a
Lewis.
fight, I believe, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, by done I mean I don't want to see him be like, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say washed because that feels disrespectful, but done in the sense of nothing left in the tank.
Well, actually, Stats Guy got to me. It's actually signed the Lewis Cyril Gane fight.
Really, so it's official. Like that interim
It's
fight is
official. Like
happening.
as of right now, that's the title fight. Derek Lewis Cyril Gane
Okay, well I'm there for
for the
that then.
interim title.
I'm there for that because
I
I
mean,
think,
yeah, I think it's a cute formality, but we all know it's not actually a title.
yeah, I mean, I think that right now the heavyweight division has like one of the most exciting champions in the UFC. Right? I mean, obviously Ngannou is a blockbuster in terms of how he sells, and he might not be, the most like outspoken or charismatic champion, right? But he brings exciting fights, right? Like
Yep.
everyone loves a one-hit knockout, right?
Everybody loves heavyweights, and that
Yeah,
will always be the case because they like the biggest and the strongest.
exactly. Harder, better, bigger, stronger, stronger, bigger.
Stronger, better, faster, stronger. Yep.
Exactly. But I mean I'm there for the Derek Lewis and Gon fight. I don't know. I don't know about making it a title fight, but maybe make it a fight to see who gets Ngannou next. And I really don't want to see Ngannou wait on John Jones. I would like to see him just fight. Like,
I mean, me too, but I want to see him fight John Jones. Like, I
I mean,
don't
I do too. I
care
don't want to see
about
him like waste.
like I want to see the best fight possible,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
And I want to see everybody at their best. Like maybe
yeah.
John Jones doesn't need his first fight in heavyweight to be a title fight, but that's what he wants, and he has the right to
Oh
wait
yeah,
for what or he has the right to get what he wants because he's John freaking Jones. He's the greatest of all time.
yeah.
And
That
then
is a demand that only two people in the UFC could reasonably
and
make. So
Ngannou does not deserve as the heavyweight champion to get undercut after everything he's gone through and have them put a an interim fight under his feet because he wants a different fight.
yeah,
He doesn't deserve this treatment. Respect Francis Ngannou, but hey, I mean, we've known this was coming. Dana White told him, but still, I mean, come on.
yeah. I know. I
I
mean, I
guess
think in a
this
perfect
is their
world,
way of rewarding. This is their way of rewarding the guys who, you know, are just wanting to fight whatever's in front of them,
true. I think
which
in
is
a
fair.
perfect world, I would like to see the winner of this interim fight take on John Jones, and that's like his, you know, test for can he fight at heavyweight. But obviously he's not gonna go for that. It's title fight or no fight for him at this point in his career. So
Literally,
I don't
we're
know.
about to have two UFC heavyweight champions for
Yeah,
probably 6 months to a year.
yeah, which is dumb to me. But and I also think that it's dumb that someone who's not even ranked in the heavyweight division can fight for the championship. But that's
But he has. Well, I mean, that's just like it's literally the exact same situation as Izzy moving up to light heavyweight and fighting for the title. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
John Jones took a little bit longer and his title got taken away at light heavy.
yeah. I think in a perfect world, which obviously I don't think they have really defined this whole
A perfect
super
world.
fight,
Oh.
yeah, this super fight situation yet, but
Uh-huh.
they have to have one fight at that division to see how they do, because I feel like if Izzy had a fight at light heavyweight with a, you know, reasonable
Oh yeah,
opponent.
he might have looked a lot better than he did against Jan. But then again, for a champion, that's a waste of time,
Oh, 100%, because then
right?
your
Because you're
belt
not
is just
defending your
sitting there.
belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's why super
If you're gonna
fights,
fight, you
both
might as well
belts are put on
defend
the
it.
line. There we go.
All right. Yeah. I mean, honestly.
But
I will never accept that as a possible solution, but I will respect that you're sticking to your guns.
it would be cool. It would be exciting, but it's okay if it doesn't happen, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, at the end of the day, there are going to be fights. Always. But
Yeah.
moving on, because we can save the rest, the preview for next week. Can't
Yep.
we can't believe we're here without Bryce not
I know.
talking. It's just the worst.
It just
Um,
feels wrong.
but on to the next segment.
Everyone's favorite part
What
of
do
the
you
show.
everyone's favorite part of the show, the segments.
And
I'm not
I
sure if
think I
it's
got
your trivia week or Bryce's trivia week,
I think it was
but he's
mine.
not here, so it's yours.
Yeah. We'll have to go back and check the tape, but I think it's mine anyways.
So we've got a little one-on-one trivia session. What have you got?
Yeah. A little 1v1 action. So,
Oh,
we talked about it a little bit before the show. And by a little bit I mean I think I said one thing about it, right? But the supplemental NFL draft was canceled this year. I don't know why still, but
supplemental NFL draft
yeah. The
was I don't even know what that is.
So basically it's a draft that is after the normal draft for players who are coming out of college. And this draft is specifically for players who had something that made them ineligible at the time of the real NFL draft. So, to give you an example, just a few years ago, actually, Josh Gordon, who obviously we both know, he could not be drafted in the real 2012 draft because he got dismissed for a failed marijuana test. So they have the second draft that happens like a month, 2 months later, that allows for some of those players to re-enter their name but a team that takes a pick in this supplemental draft then forfeits the like the pick in next year's draft. So if they take a player in the fourth round of the supplemental draft, they forfeit their fourth round pick basically of the next year's
Huh.
draft. So that's kind of how it works. And there's been very few names that came out of this draft. There were 3 on the list that I recognized, and I already told you one of them. No, all right, 4. Sorry, I remember one more, but I already told you one of them. It was Josh Gordon, 2012. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and this is the
Yeah.
best player ever drafted in the supplemental draft, and I'll give you
Okay.
some hints. So he was drafted in 1987
Okay.
by the Philadelphia Eagles, fourth pick
Okay.
or fourth round pick, sorry, in that draft. Philadelphia Eagles. He played at the Ohio State University, and he was also a Minnesota Viking. So he played the majority of his career with Philly and Minnesota. From the Ohio State University, 1987, and
Hmm.
let's see, his first and last name start with the same letter.
That might have been. I hope that was too many hints, but honestly, having literally never even heard of the supplemental draft, I don't really have much
Exactly.
of
That
a
that's why I gave you that last one
base
there.
here. Um, hmm. Player, first and last name start with the same letter. Eagles and Vikings. Best player to ever come out of something has to be better than Josh Gordon, which is fair. Um, hmm. Has to be better than Josh Gordon
Came out of the Ohio State University.
out of the Ohio State University. Hmm. Eagles and
Then
Vikings.
Vikings. And then 1 year with the Dolphins.
Honestly, I can't even guess. I literally can't even.
Okay. Well, I'll settle
Wait,
if you can give me anyone.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to
Okay,
guess.
okay, okay.
Um, hmm. Obviously, we know it's not Donovan McNabb because he's not that old,
No.
and obviously we know it's not Reggie White or Brian Dawkins, Eagles greats,
Right.
because you said their names start with the same letter or whatever.
Right.
Um, Randall Cunningham, I think, is too young.
He is an offensive player.
An
Help you
offensive
narrow it
player,
down a little bit more.
offensive player, so it can't be. Gosh, honestly, I don't know, but I don't. This is the type of question I don't want to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is
Like,
like it is one of
it's
those things
so.
where you would never know it unless you had like A, liked this player, or B, like read about the supplemental draft stuff whenever it got canceled, which is
And
how
this
I
player
figured out
is
about it.
without a doubt. This player, without a doubt, had a better career than Josh Gordon.
100%. 100%. This player,
100%. So it's a Hall of Famer.
I don't know if he is a Hall of Famer or not. Let me ask Stats Guy.
Ask Stats Guy. Yeah, please do.
But yes, he is a Hall of Famer. Stats Guy told me in 2013 he was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
What? And it's
Remember,
way
it's
too young.
yeah, it's
Way
Eagles,
too
Vikings,
young to be.
Dolphins.
Way too young to be. You know, Randy Moss, or way too old to be Randy Moss, Adrian Peterson, way too, or even like, what's his name? The old Vikings big guy, John Randall.
Yeah,
And
offensive
then it's
player.
way too. Oh yeah,
Name starts with both names start with the same letter, first and last.
I don't know.
All right, Carson. I think he's the only Hall of Famer to ever come out of the supplemental draft. He's a wide receiver. Played for Philly for a little bit. The bulk of the best years of his career were in
Chris
Minnesota.
Carter.
It's Chris Carter.
What?
It's Chris Carter.
Kind of got that.
Yeah, I mean,
How in the
I
world?
hadn't said it yet,
How in
so
the world is it Chris Carter?
because Chris Carter was suspended before his senior year at OSU because he signed an agent.
What in the world? I've never even heard of this draft. And you're
Exactly.
telling me Chris Carter?
Yeah,
That is wild.
whenever I saw because I saw an article about the supplemental draft being canceled and I didn't know what it was either. So I read about it and then I thought, well, let's see who has come out of there. So notable names: Bernie Kosar,
Mm.
1985. He graduated after his junior year, and that's why he was withheld from the draft.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, but the Browns gave up a first round pick for him. So, and then obviously Chris Carter in '87. Scroll down a little bit, and you get to Jamal Williams, the nose tackle for he played for San Diego, but he
Mm-hmm.
he was like an Oklahoma State legend, I guess is the best way to put it. And then obviously you get to Josh Gordon. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Their stats guy just told me there have been 8 Pro Bowlers. He said 7, but then he said 8 really quickly after that. There have been 8
Yeah.
Pro Bowlers to be drafted in the supplemental draft, and Chris Carter is the only Hall of Famer.
Well, hey.
Congratulations, Chris Carter. I mean, honestly.
Congratulations, Chris Carter. I don't even want to think about this anymore because I don't like it. I don't like
I
it.
mean, yeah. Terrell Pryor, fun fact, was drafted
Oh
in the
my gosh,
supplemental draft,
Of course he was.
the
Of
third
course he
round.
was. All right. Enough of trivia. I've had enough of
Enough,
trivia. I'm
enough,
segueing
enough.
myself to hook 'em.
Hook
I'm
'em.
segueing my.
You got some banger picks this week,
All right.
Carson. You have some amazing picks this
Saturday,
week.
we got a Saturday baseball game. We got the Subway Series, Mets and Yankees. This series actually means something in New York.
True.
But Marcus Stroman and Garrett Cole. Well, Garrett Cole can't cheat anymore, so give me the Mets. Hook 'em Mets.
Hey, hook 'em.
Saturday night, Hawks and Bucks, Game 6. We don't know who's going to be up 3-2, and I'm not going to look at the score of the game right now because I believe it's already going on. So I'm going to make an unbiased guess and say that Giannis is probably going to be back. Trae Young is probably going to be back, which means Bucks win. Um, and I hope that means they close out the series because the Hawks are they come on, how long is this gonna last?
Yeah.
So hook 'em Bucks. And then next Tuesday, we've got the battle of former World Series champions and former good pitchers that are reborn. Cardinals at the Giants. Adam Wainwright and Johnny Cueto. Neither of them have honestly ever thrown hard. Neither of them have looked good recently. Adam Wainwright's been hurt. Johnny Cueto's been hurt. But they're back. Their teams are playing well. I think the Cardinals should be better, but as we talked about earlier, the Giants are actually really good. And honestly, I'm gonna go with the Giants because Johnny Cueto is allowed to balk pretty much every time he throws the ball.
Hmm.
Um, and it's technically not balking because there's no runners on base, but he deceives every single batter because he turns. Sometimes he
Yeah.
stops. Sometimes he doesn't turn. And sometimes he turns. It's awesome. Honestly, it's awesome and he's fun to watch. And I used to love him like a lot but hey, both these guys are World Series champions, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Hook 'em Giants, not the football Giants. Hook 'em
Yeah.
San
Because we
Fran.
hate the football Giants.
And on to our next segment. Every single person who listens or doesn't listen, it's their favorite segment, the top three. Austin, give me your top three NFL TV broadcast channels. There's only a few to pick from, but
Yeah,
give me your
the
top three.
yeah. So I expect a lot of overlap here, but 3-2-1 as it should be. I've really enjoyed the NFL being on Amazon Prime, like having a Thursday night game on Prime.
Yeah. And obviously we're not saying the best, we're saying like our personal like favorites.
Yeah, because
And
the
hey, maybe
broadcast
maybe
team.
with an Amazon Prime pick saying like, hey, respect it. Maybe it's not
Yeah,
saying it's better than the other.
yeah, exactly. Because the broadcast team is similar to the Fox analyst team, if not
Mhm.
exactly the same. But I enjoy it. I think it's a good step for the NFL and for sports to be live streamed. MLB obviously does YouTube. I like it, so I put that on my list. And number two is actually more difficult than 3 or 1, which is weird. But I think number two has got to be ESPN. No, scratch that. I lied. Number two is Sunday Night Football on NBC. And that's tough to put there, actually, now that I think about it, because it's awesome. And I remember as a kid singing along in my room with the
For the
song.
Faith Hill theme song.
Yes. All right, Sunday night, where are you? Anyways, it's awesome. I love it. But number one, I got to go with CBS, especially when Tony Romo is in the booth. Because there's just something so satisfying about him saying, "Yeah, no, this is gonna be a wheel route on the left side and a swing option on the right side, and then it's literally that. It literally happens.
Yeah,
I
you're gonna see a pump fake and then two steps to the right by the quarterback. He's gonna make a low throw. It's gonna be caught,
yeah,
and then the receiver's gonna spin, and the defender is just gonna absolutely miss, and then it's
yeah,
gonna be a 65-yard touchdown for the New York Football Giants.
yeah, exactly.
And then it
And then it
happens.
happens. Like
Yeah,
if you have any betting questions, call Tony Romo because
yeah. It's
he
probably
knows
conflict of
the
interest and
future.
entirely not allowed, but hey.
He knows the future. So if you want to know if you're gonna make $1 million tomorrow, ask Tony Romo because he could tell you. So
Yep, bet your house on it.
CBS, yeah, that's a mortgage bet, but we're not financial advisors, so
Uh-uh. Unqualified in that category.
very. But Carson, what about you?
Top three, top three, top three, top three, top three. Well, number three, I'm gonna have Sunday Night Football on NBC mainly because Tony Dungy, even though he's gone now, frick, the
That's
Rodney Harrison. That's why.
legend.
Um, honestly, I have like some of the most memories, I guess, when I'm sitting here thinking about the crews of these channels.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember the Sunday Night Football on NBC team. And, well, Sunday night, all night, whatever, here are you, Broncos and uh the Jets. No, not even the Winnipeg Jets. Um, but, NBC, it is what it is. But number two, see, number two, I want to put ESPN, but John Gruden isn't on there anymore,
I
so
know. And Booger
can't.
McFarlane.
Inexcusably. Uh, which I honestly adds an extra layer. But number two, I'm gonna put CBS. I love Tony Romo. Actually, like it's oversaid, and it's kind of a meme at this point. But he's actually very entertaining.
He is. He is a
Uh,
super good
and
commentator.
it seems like he's like teaching you about football while also talking about the game.
True.
And it's really cool. It adds a different aspect. And then number one, I mean, come on, what else would it be? Fox Sports, if not for any other reason, but it's Bryce. It's Bryce's favorite, so it has to be my number one here.
Hmm.
In honor of Bryce, has to be Fox Sports. Um, if only for the theme song. But hey, there's everybody's favorite segment.
Segment.
Out there.
I'm surprised neither of us put the Nickelodeon broadcast on there.
Shut up.
But hey, I respect those though. I respect those. So this next segment, the final segment of this episode. I almost said segment a third time, but Carson, we're thinking about the NFL season. It's right around the corner.
It's close. It's so close we can taste it.
Literally,
We're in
it's
July.
yeah.
We're in
Ooh,
July. Preseason starts
it's
next month.
ooh,
Oh.
we're getting there. We are rolling towards the NFL season, which means we're also technically rolling towards the Super Bowl.
Oh.
So Carson, if you were given your odds for the Super Bowl, and obviously we got to put the two most recent contenders for the Super Bowl in there, the
Two
Chiefs
most
and the
recent
Bucks.
winners.
Oh yeah, that's true. The last two champions are also the last two teams to play in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs and the Bucks. Are you taking one or the other, or are you taking the field? So you got 33% chance here to pick one of those three.
So you're pretty much saying I get the best quarterback in football, the best quarterback ever, or everyone else. So 30
Yeah,
other teams.
yeah.
Which
You
we can
either
go ahead
get
and say there's about 10 teams who have absolutely no shot to even be in the picture. And then there's about 10 teams that are also going to miss playoffs entirely. Because I believe, is it going to be are we back to 6 or is it 7 still?
I thought it was still 7.
Okay, so we've got 8 more teams that are going to make it at all. And then when it comes to the 14, only about 6 or 8 genuinely have a chance. So pretty much I'm saying, do I like the Ravens, the Bills, and the Titans, or do I? And we can include uh, Packers, the Hawks, and the Rams, or do I like the Chiefs and the Bucks? Like it only comes down to about 8 teams ish, and that can extend and that can change because we know teams aren't going to be as good as they were last season. Things happen, injuries happen, and people get worse or better. But honestly, I mean, it would be stupid not to take the field, so that's why I'm not taking the field. Because I think if I ever bet against Patrick Mahomes and or Tom Brady, I think I would regret it.
Yeah. Or wait, are we up to 8 teams this year in the playoffs?
Do you think no? There's no way because they have to have a bye.
Well, it would be. Wait.
That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
you're right. You're right. You're
There would be
right.
an extra
It's
round. There
still
would be an
7.
extra round. There would be a play-in round, and there already is one.
Yeah. Oh, the wild card. Yeah, it's got to still be 7. Yeah, or 6. Probably 7. I think it's 7.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it
No,
is.
it's still 7. It's still 7.
Yeah,
I know that for a
because
fact.
that was a permanent thing.
Yeah,
Because
that's a fact.
only the number one
Because
seed
now
gets.
there's only one bye. Yeah, yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
3 wild card games. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All night, Sunday night, where are you?
Yeah, I I don't see a world in which I take anyone but the Chiefs or the Bucks though. Honestly, I don't know if any team made the moves this offseason to bridge that gap. You know?
Gap was that great. I mean, they've won the last 2 Super Bowls and they played in the last one. But then again, that could be short-sighted of us. Like
Yeah, I mean the Titans and the
maybe
Rams
we're
got
not taking
better.
into account
Like
other factors, including teams getting better,
yeah,
and
or
regression to the
mm,
mean.
yeah,
But
and injuries obviously could completely change the scope of the NFL. Mahomes could go down, Brady could go down, and that basically does in either of those teams for the year, right?
yep,
Like
yep,
losing a quarterback like that basically takes you out of contention unless you have a Nick Foles esque arrival of a backup.
yeah.
So
Which is pretty much just a stroke of luck.
yeah, it's Nick Foles and Case Keenum are like the two to ever do it. So and Chad Henne for 1 quarter.
It's tough.
But I think I'm sticking with the Bucks. I think Brady's got enough left in the tank. I think that team is still good. And I mean, did the Chiefs get that much better this offseason? Like their biggest issue in the Super Bowl was they could not protect Mahomes. So
And
they
they
signed a
absolutely
guard.
gutted the line.
Yeah. They signed a great guard. But a guard is not what you're looking for when you're getting beat by edge rushers. Like they're not going to
I
run the
mean,
ball.
they did entirely renovate their entire offensive line.
Yeah, which could be amazing or could be awful. Like
And then again, we're saying
Dallas.
Chiefs and Bucks.
Yeah, both
I
teams
mean, even
have
if you
shuffled
think of the
pieces.
Bucks, like, well, I mean, we're saying both of them versus the Field. So I mean,
Yeah,
for that confident in the Bucks, the Chiefs matter.
yeah. I don't know if the Bills, Titans, Rams, or Packers close the gap this year in the offseason enough, but maybe. And if there's any one of those teams, I guess the Bills would be the one that I would like to see the most, or the Titans. Definitely not the Packers. And certainly not the Rams, because that would mean no Brady. So, yeah, hook 'em Brady.
Wow, what an obvious way to end the show, Austin.
So predictable of me. But, Carson, I think we did it.
We made it through an episode without our third wheel.
Yeah,
And by third wheel, I mean our first wheel.
literally. It's like he is the C to our saw, the teeter to our totter, whatever that means.
Austin, come on.
I think
What
I
in the
think that
world did you
means
just say?
I think that means that Bryce is the balance that we need.
Perfect.
I think Bryce keeps us very focused, and I miss him. And I hope whenever he
I miss him
hears
too.
this, he texts both of us and says heart emoji, kiss
I love you,
emoji.
Bryce. We love you.
We miss you. Have fun with your family.
Or whatever, because we didn't say why he was out.
That's true. I think it was something like that, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, have fun running your marathon or something.
10K, his 10,000-mile run.
But we've made it through a show without you. And next week, all will be back to normal.
Huh? And we got some exciting things coming. So be on the lookout for maybe some changes to the look. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe take a peek at updates.
Yeah, maybe if there's a link sent out or something, don't
Maybe.
add it or anything.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. And maybe this week, while you're just hanging out waiting for the NFL season to start, go check out our exclusive interview from the earlier this week. It was awesome. So
Ryan Kosey is an absolute stud.
and he is gonna demolish anyone they put in against him. So
Anyone.
And
he will fight back to back. We know
Yeah,
he will. He
fight
said it.
back-to-back
We
weeks.
love him. Cannot wait for his fight.
Yes, but excited to have Bryce back next week. Excited to talk a little bit of UFC. Talk about Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. I'm definitely out of water.
It's tough.
And we're excited to see Carson go 3-0 and hook him.
Hey, hook 'em, baby.
So,
Hook 'em.
until next week, we hope you have a good week. We hope this is a fun and eventful weekend in sports. And hey, we'll be back. The Big Three will be back next week.
Hook 'em.